What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is another version, or I guess another show, of the French Workbench podcast. We'll have a different version here.
Updated version from last week.
I'm in studio with a lot of good friends of mine. A lot of people here to give different perspective on what's happening. And if you guys haven't looked at some of the past shows that I have, please go on to my YouTube channel. You can go there. I think it's a great way to send people, dflve.com. Everybody's like, what is that? That's how you go there and you find my YouTube channel. So
that's an acronym for Dan French Live. Right? Dan French Love.
My name's Dan French. I'm your host. And let's talk a little bit, guys. What's going on today? You guys, first off, we'll introduce Brett again. Brett.
What's happening, man?
You look lively today, man. What's happening?
I was already at the gym doing this, and then I get to go to some new home builds.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times, man. Thanks for coming in on a Saturday.
Of course.
We're going to talk today about how living expenses have skyrocketed recently. Obviously, post-COVID, see a lot of things that's not as available or as accessible. So I want to talk a lot about that with all my gentlemen
Where's
here today.
the gas?
Where's the gas? I also got in studio here. I got Mr. Zach Martinez.
What's up,
What's
guys?
going on, buddy? How are you today?
Good, man. I didn't go to the gym today.
You didn't go to the gym?
Well, I was supposed to, but
How old are you? 23?
23.
So why didn't you go to the gym? Answer, I'm 23, dude. I don't need to.
I'm going to go after this. So
He's not our age. Where time starts working against you.
Right. And I also have in studio, we have Mr. Joe Dragon. He's an attorney, and he's back. What's going on today, Joe?
Doing great. I thought about going to the gym this morning.
Joe,
I think
have
I'll
to
do 10 minutes on the Peloton when I get home and call it good. But
I have to say you have the best attorney name I've ever heard, dude.
I'd have to agree.
Joe
with that.
Dragon. Dude, I love that.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
that's a name. Like,
Yeah.
that's Joe Dragon.
We burn the competition, so
Right on,
that's the
man.
way to
wow,
do it.
I like that.
Should be Joe the Red Dragon as an attorney.
Joe-
So we're going to talk today about the cost of living, how things are going up. First off, what's going on, guys? Anything new? Brett, you got anything happening today?
Yeah, I'm going to new home builds. Get on some more waiting lists.
Is that all
I
it is?
mean, that's all it is. Like, there's all new home builders right now. None of them have lots.
What's
Yeah.
the waiting time?
Anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 to 3 months.
You lock in a price if you purchase one of these new homes?
No,
Or
they
how
can
does it work?
change it anytime they want.
Anytime, so it doesn't help.
Yeah. So, and even with the waiting list, it's depending on what the builder wants to do. Some builders will say, okay, it's like a normal waiting list. You get on the waiting list, and when the lots become available, it's first come, first serve. Other ones will say, to get on the waiting list, you need to do a $2,000 deposit. You need to get pre-qualified through our in-house lender, or send your proof of funds for your cash.
Gotcha.
And then obviously, when the lots become available, if you get in a contract, you get that $2,000 back off the price and
Right,
everything.
right.
But regardless, they're requiring a little skin in the game because it separates where the rubber meets the road on people. Everybody says, oh, we have 7 lots coming up and they'll have 70 people on it. But if you've got to do even $1,000 or $2,000 down, and you've got to go through the trouble of getting pre-qualified through their lender,
Stick with it. Makes sense.
and then other ones are basically saying, no, there's no deposit or anything you need to do. We'll put you on the waiting list, but just so you know, when the lots become available, we're going to take the highest and best.
Gotcha.
So say the lot premium's $10,000. Are you willing to pay $15,000 for that lot premium, or $20,000? And then how much in upgrades are you getting?
Yeah.
Just depends on the builder right now. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
So let's go back. We were talking about, that's going to be a big part because we're going to see how that affects the housing market here, obviously, with people that are spending a lot more on other things. I started running down the things that I spend money on. And my overhead right now, and this is
It's
obviously...
amazing, isn't it?
It's a lot.
It's like when you go to move. How
It's
did
a
I get
lot.
so much shit?
Yeah, it's a lot. And one of the things I look at is, if you got these home prices going up, obviously your payments are going to go up on these homes. Post the pandemic, right? Post COVID, if you want to call it, we've seen a lot of increases on a lot of things that normally wouldn't be as big of a problem. We were talking yesterday about chlorine going up. There's a lot, we see the food is going up. Some of the things and some of the necessities that we need, they're not at our fingertips, but there's going to be a premium. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And, between Joe and Zach, I'm going to talk with you first, Joe, if that's okay. I want to ask you, you did some data research. What are you seeing right now with the cost of living? Like, what is some of the research you're looking at?
I mean, I looked at gas primarily, which is definitely shooting up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. It seems, there's different theories why. I mean, I think it's just because, last year we had the decline in demand, right? So shoots down. This year, everybody's when it gets out, go to Disneyland, whatever,
Right.
go on the road. I mean, you got to deal with that. But gas here in the West is much more expensive than, in the South and the East, I also noticed.
Or
But,
Midwest.
Yeah.
Super expensive
Yeah, and
out here.
I'm not sure. I know why it is in California because they got like a $2 tax on top of your $4
Over here more?
gallon of gas, but couldn't really figure out why Nevada has the same trend. As far as that.
What about you, Zach? What do you think, man? Why do you think that the cost of living is going up? Obviously, we know that it's the price of homes is a little bit more scarce, right? I mean, not the price of homes, the cost of the goods that we buy is becoming scarce. So there's a premium on it. And I think if you look at these goods and services and all these things that we're buying, across the board, everything's going up. The cost of living just to live on a monthly basis is going up. What is some of the research that you've looked at?
Of course. I mean, kind of like Joe said, I mean, just living day to day, like you're seeing gas prices go up. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, it used to cost what, $30 like 6 months ago just to fill my tank. Now we're getting close to 50, right? And then the guy from the home warranty place yesterday, he was telling us, I mean, it could be a case by case scenario. Like for an example, this situation, the one factory that produces the majority of all the chlorine burned down.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just, obviously it's kind of a rare scenario, but I mean, that thing alone is obviously causing the cost of chlorine to go up. And what did he say yesterday? How much a bucket of chlorine tablets cost? And
I mean, it's up. I don't know what the numbers were, honestly, but I know it's really, really high. And people are starting to consider doing salt water for their pools. And,
Right.
and here's my thing about it is how many people have pools right here in Las Vegas with these homes? If the cost goes up, it's already, I wouldn't say it's overly expensive, but it's pretty expensive. And I think most people desire in a hot place like Las Vegas to have a pool. And so that's another cost that's going to go up. That's another impact of what's going on. Obviously, it's because of this fire, but it's not just that. There's other things. I think food's going up, right? You talked about gas going up. You look at you look at last year, you couldn't give a barrel, or nobody would be able to buy, or they wouldn't buy, but you couldn't give it away. It was a negative.
They're basically paying you
The oil.
to own
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah, because it was so low last year, and it was like during the pandemic. So now it's different. So what are your thoughts, Brett? Do you think that, these gas prices?
I think it's all explanatory and common sense, and there's nothing to worry about. It's real simple. Society retracted, so did everything else.
Yeah, but I
So
think
people out making these products aren't out making these products.
Yeah.
These supplies, these materials aren't being done. They're not being completed. So why is it a surprise that there's nothing out there when no one's been doing anything for the past year?
Well,
so it's a simple supply and demand at this issue.
Well, the
At
good
this
news
point-
is I did look up the In-N-Out burger has not increased in price in over 12 years. So
That's what I'm talking about.
that's all you need to eat anyhow. So I wouldn't worry
that's
about
the most important thing, anyways.
I love it.
we
So
can
I
end-
wouldn't worry about it.
Show's over, guys.
yeah, let's
In and
end it
out
up.
has not gone up.
But I mean, honestly, I just think it's simple math. I mean, it's nothing to freak out about. It's like any time in history, anytime you have a retraction of people and less production being made, guess what? There's less supply, there's less everything. And then
Yeah.
you have the demand come surging back.
Well, look, we got the stock market doing very well. You still have 47% of Americans out there thinking that we're having an issue, right? As far as they're not 100% confident in the economy. And so when you have that, even though things are back to
Half
normal,
the country is Biden's fault. Half the country, Biden's doing a great job. Well, that's pretty much, you can break that down for everything right now.
yeah, I mean,
with people's views on it.
Yeah,
Like
you
what
could-
you're saying. You're like
yeah.
half 45. Well, these people probably drive in their car with their mask on.
yeah. Well, I think too, it's about confidence, right? I mean, you got confidence going on right now, consumer confidence out there, but there's some things that people are concerned about. A lot of people we've heard that some of the accessories or some of the things that you do on your cost of living may potentially keep going higher is what I'm trying to say. Because right now I feel that, you look at your cell phone bills, right? You look at your car insurance, especially here in Las Vegas. You look at your rent, you look at, or your mortgage, if you have it. If you look at all these things that come into play, and I feel that if you're trying to buy a house, and things are starting to increase. Can somebody afford it with all these costs going up? And is it going to get worse? And I think
That's your job. Can they afford it? You tell me, Dan. If they can, I'm out with them. You tell me.
Here's some numbers on the cost of living. So you got an average cost of living, $6,000, just over $6,000 a month in LA. Here it's $4,400. Denver is $5,166.
Yeah,
and Seattle $6,000. So we're still much cheaper than the Western Coast. And
What
even,
is that on
even,
a per month basis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's
And that's
decent,
probably a family, right?
yeah. Average family 4 and the dog, half dog, whatever you got.
2.5 kids.
By the way, dog food's going up too. I've noticed that.
Well,
or maybe they're just putting actual food in it this time.
I think maybe. I mean, that's what people are trying to do, man. It's like, everything's organic. Make sure that they eat right. Yeah, I think that you go to Costco and I think you could buy in bulk, but I just feel that when I'm going out and buying, it seems like everything's starting to really increase. If you go out and let's say you get a meal like at Carl's Jr. or McDonald's or something. I can remember back when it was like $5 or $6. Now it's like $10, right? So I'm just saying, give you an example. If you go out,
Well, I wouldn't say that has to do with COVID as much as you're old. Things don't cost what they did 20 years ago.
But you think about it, and it's like, well, you look at all these things that's happening. You look at gas, that's starting to really go up. It's still not as high as California. You look at, let's say you look at your groceries. Let's say you look at your, do people really have extra money to go out and spend on extracurricular activities, right? What do you think? I mean, what do you guys think?
I have no idea what other people's positions are.
Right. I mean, I see a lot of people traveling right now. So,
well, dude, the industry we're in, the only people we deal with are people who can qualify for homes or buy so.
Yeah, but they're buying homes because out of necessity.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm not. We're dealing with a certain segment of society.
Right.
We're not there's a lot of other people that aren't buying homes or aren't in a position. I don't know what others' positions are.
What about you, Zach? What do you think about it, man? You got any opinion on it?
Yeah, kind of like I said last week. I mean, although there are a good handful of people that were affected by, the pandemic financially and are having a tough time, we're still seeing a ton of people either traveling or, going on the strip. Right. And then I'm seeing that firsthand. And then now that, a lot of the restrictions are being lifted, I can only imagine that, getting even crazier. You drive down the strip, you go today, it's going to be packed. I'm just guessing, but I mean, yesterday, even with all the restrictions or before today, you can just see sidewalks packed, restaurants, I mean, supposedly operating at 50% capacity, but people are still kind of shoulder to shoulder. And yeah, I mean, I think, people aren't really afraid to go out and, spend money.
I mean, to Zach's point, take a look at a picture from 2011 with the strip compared to now. People got money, right? Because that was like a ghost town then.
Yeah.
So they had the money to use. So
is it because they saved it during the pandemic and that's that money, but they're not seeing the after effect of our costs going to continue to go up? I think the concern here is this: we obviously see inflation's a problem.
As long as people feel they have money and are paying their bills, they don't really pay too much attention to costs going up. They do, but not enough to consciously really affect their spending habits. It's when 2011, when the mentality overall is uncertainty. We're down, dude. We're down lower than we've ever been, and we don't know where it's going.
Right.
That's
the panic. There's no panic going on. As far as people talking about, concerns with the economy, I'm sure they have it, but it's typical. Everybody's going to say that in any given day because people want to be right and say, "Oh, I told you so." I don't know exactly, but that's not uncommon. I feel like everybody's going to.
It's
and
overall
again,
mentality.
Biden, politics, all that kind of stuff. I just know it seems to be good now. Is my take.
Well, you see a lot of people that are obviously back to work. Some people aren't back to work. Some people are staying on unemployment because they're probably making more money in some cases than they would if they went back to work. But is the income that they're making on a monthly basis? If the cost keeps going up, what are they going to do though? I mean, you got to look at it like.
I personally think there's going to be a reconfiguration of a lot of things in Las Vegas these next couple years with the amount of growth.
In what way?
Just the cost for things, the expectations, the standards cost for things, just the mentality overall. I think that with the growth of people moving here.
Well, people take a different. They don't put in consideration.
I think that there tends to be more people with money moving here than not have money. And like, let's take for example Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Have you ever like read up on Jackson Hole, Wyoming at all?
No, I've never had the opportunity.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming is like an Aspen, right, or a Breckenridge.
Yeah,
it's a super elite playground for the elite. We're talking like $150 million ranches.
Yeah, no, I have an interesting story about that. I went to law school in Idaho, northern Idaho.
Uh-huh.
So out of school, I applied to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, some firm or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I walk in like, yeah, we'll give you $120,000, salary, which I'm like, kid freaking out. With this out. And he's like, oh, but by the way, you're gonna have to live 2 hours to the south because that won't cover rent. If you live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
So Jackson Hole's like 10,000 people, if even, or something like that. So so back in the 60s, it was a hippie stop. A lot of the hippies that were going from East Coast out to San Francisco, whatever it is, they would hang out in Jackson. It's always been like a ski town. I remember in '94, I had a buddy who graduated college, and he was going out there to basically be a ski bum and do whatever. But the thing about Jackson Hole is it started having a whole new level of money that started buying homes there. Right. And now, like you said, I mean, dude, then what started happening was the city council then got together and the local residents were like, we can't even, we've lived here 5 generations and we can't even afford to live here, because what the city started doing then was it was the main landowners making all the money that basically run the city council. Right. Mm-hmm. So they then got together and said, okay, well, then people started saying, well, I have a house, but I have a half acre in the backyard. So I'm going to sell that half acre so someone can build a house because it's so unaffordable here. Then the city council came along and said, if you have any land on yours, you can't develop it in the city. Like started specifically doing that. And you had a whole new level come in. And now, dude, look at the prices. Like a cheap piece of crap home that's 1,200 square feet in Jackson Hole, Wyoming is like 1.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's
insane.
It's about consumer demand.
It's like 10,000 people in this town, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're saying...
Same thing. I'm not saying at that level, but I'm saying you're having a whole new group of people, and it's not going to be slowing down.
Yeah, so you're saying just think, people come here with money, they eat up the supply just like any
other.
Well,
it's just like...
shooting up and up and up.
It's still cheap to them coming here. Everything is still cheap.
Right.
And to the people who have lived here, it's getting expensive. To people coming here, it's cheap. Right. There's got to be.
Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down on an average person out there. This is what I would say somebody that's a average middle class family or person. Here's the concerns that they look at. One is the cost of healthcare, right?
Yeah.
My parents have healthcare that's really high, and when you look at it versus me, as you get older, your healthcare is a lot more expensive, and so that's definitely a concern. Is it going to continue to go up? Are we going to see a break in that? I can't foresee. And then, I went to go get some nasal spray, right? Because I have allergies. And they were running the numbers, and they didn't put my information in for the nasal spray. And they were like, oh, yeah, sir, it's only $240. If I wanted to buy for a nasal spray. Dude, I'm just saying, this is outrageous in some ways. But healthcare. Well, you look at the cost of going to college. Yeah. If you're a family and you want to send your kids to college, right? You look at overall costs and longevity of having and sustaining, putting money away. Can people really put money away?
Well,
in this,
that's so society-wise is going to be along the same lines of a lot of reconfiguration.
Right.
Honestly, I think YouTube will render college useless in 20 years.
That's a good point too, and
I bet you agree with me 100%. No, you.
Agree. Yep.
He gets it.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, Joe?
What, the YouTube?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, because
I don't think we need to be in a brick building library to learn this stuff anymore. It's been put online. We don't need the
that was part of the money making system.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. I went to UNR in undergrad, right? They had built the best library in the world. I mean, in the West, excuse me, in a university. Nevada's not a Davis University.
Yeah.
Now it's good. Don't get me wrong. You know, they don't only let the elite in there for sure.
Yeah.
But the point was that's all marketing. They're marketing to make money. That's why they spend money on basketball and football. It's all marketing. And at the end of the day, you can. I mean, honestly, half the classes are BS anyhow.
Like right now, I'm taking some online blockchain courses taught from MIT professors. It's an MIT course. Now, I can't put at the end that I have an MIT degree.
Right.
I can't and that's essentially what you're paying for.
Right.
Is you're paying to say you went to Harvard. You're paying to say you went to MIT. But I'm watching these online classes. I can comprehend it.
Right.
Well, look,
I mean, it's not like, oh my God, I can't understand it because.
What if you're somebody out there though that has no direction? You don't know what you want to do.
Join the military, son. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's it. Maybe that's an option, right? Maybe you need to join the military.
That's half the military.
But let me say, if you're somebody out there that doesn't have a direction of what you want to do yet, you need a coach. Everybody goes to the gym.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, why do you go to the gym? I know how to work out. Well, it's because I need to have accountability.
You need to get a life coach.
Yes, I need to have a position where somebody's holding me accountable to going in there and learning the information. How many people do you really think, and maybe Joe's the exception, maybe others are the exception, but how many people do you think are really going to go online or maybe go to a class or somewhere where they're just figuring this out on their own? Because people don't have self-leadership. And I think
I agree.
That's what people are looking for.
But listen, to me, it's the internet and everything else just resembles real life. There's always going to be people that are self-starters, that are self-promoters, that don't need, like me. I'm learning. I'm taking blockchain MIT courses for no other reason than I just want to better myself, and I want So there's always going to be people like me that do that, and there's always going to be people that don't like. So
you have a belief in this, right? You believe in what you're doing.
Absolutely, or I don't do it, dude. Okay. If my heart's not in anymore, it's like I don't care how much I'm getting paid.
Right. And I think your question though, you need that. It's not necessarily that you going online, you're going to just switch everything online. You got to restructure things. Maybe that's a personal tutor you have. Maybe you still have a smaller campus or something. The point is, the technology we have can severely reduce expenses on what we've been paying.
100%.
People will start demanding. So what that looks like in 20 years, I don't know.
100%.
I went to a community college when I first started. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I ended up going to a 4-year college. But the point is,
dude, I flunked out of college before I went back.
Yeah. Well, look.
So what happens in your philosophy major?
There's options. Zach, do you think college is important?
Want to get deep? Sorry.
I think it's important depending on what you want to do. I mean, I definitely believe that college now isn't what it was 30 years ago. Because I have tons of friends that either dropped out or, just didn't go to college straight up, and then they're in the mortgage industry, right? Or they're doing sales and they're doing great.
Take you, dude. What you're going to make a living doing, or what you're making a living doing, has nothing to do with a college degree if you don't want to.
Not at all. I mean,
you're going to make your money by learning what you're doing what your trade.
Of course, and the way I look at it, I don't know. It's just my opinion, but I feel like you have your tools, right? Either you could utilize going to a university, that's your tool to be able to figure out what you want to do, or you can utilize YouTube or online to kind of learn.
Is YouTube really that next thing where everybody's going to go to learn stuff? I mean, I go there and learn stuff. Let me explain. I want to say why. Because you get a video and you get this information. Really, they don't want to know the ins and outs of what they're trying to accomplish. They just want to know, for instance, if you want to put something together, or how does something work. What does YouTube? Right. What does YouTube really do though, as far as teaching you the way to maybe creative think, right? Or something outside the normal.
The internet. It's what you want to get out of it, so it can take you in whatever direction you want. The thing that sold me on YouTube was 3 or 4 years ago. I read an article of, I think the dude was in India or somewhere, whatever it was. The long and short of it was, this guy got arrested for being a surgeon. He didn't even graduate high school. He had learned how to be a doctor and a surgeon by watching YouTube. And I was like, all right.
I mean, but
there's no excuse not to learn everything in the world right now.
Are we talking YouTube specific or just the online platform? Are you, Dan? Are you like?
Yeah, I'm just curious, how somebody would go on there and just online and just say, I get it. You can go get certified, or you can get something online. I understand that part of it, but to get the hands on, everybody always says, I'm a lender, right? And so they say, well, how do you become a lender? And if you take the test, do you know everything? You don't know everything until you're hands-on or you're actually doing the work and you get in the trenches with people.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the difference. You can sit here and brush over this is what you do, but until you actually put time into
you still have to be incumbent upon yourself to So it's like anything in life. If you want to have a better life or pursue something, you seek it out and what you need to do, whether it's on the internet or a brick and mortar building.
Right.
So let me go ahead.
I was going to say 100% agree with you, Dan. I mean, law school, for instance, right? The 2 years, you learn all this stuff that you need to know for law school, but you're not going to be an effective attorney until you start representing people. Yeah. Now, the school in that summer, they say, oh, we have this free labor you could do for this public
free labor
for this prosecution's office. And you should take it with a happy as you work 70 hours a week for. But anyhow, that's when you learned it, right? That's when I learned a lot. But the school didn't have any. They did. I went and worked with attorneys, right? That wasn't professors; those were the people in the trade.
So you're saying that, and going back to it, the cost of going to college, you're saying that it's not necessary anymore, that you can cut corners. I'm not saying, look, I wasn't a guy that went and spent thousands and thousands.
How many people do you know graduate college and work a job that has nothing to do with their major?
It doesn't matter. If you don't have any direction though, and I'm not saying be pro college, but if you don't have direction, could you spend your time doing something else better? I don't know.
I think that there's many people who will be younger and don't know what they want to do or how they're going to do it or anything like that. And life teaches you, and being broke teaches you, right? You either get sick and tired of the life that you have and want better and seek it out, or you don't and bitch about it your whole life.
I went to college for business management and economics, right?
Yeah.
Also there was you had it was a class that you were required to take. It was a typing class. And would I say that, okay, I came out of that and I'm doing loans and now it has some correlation with that? No, it does not. But what I can tell you is that I've learned certain things, little bits and pieces down the road that help me in my business now. And it might not be like, hey, you know what? That groomed me for doing loans. And this is but what it does is it opens up other parts of my personality or character to say, hey, you know what? I'm using this now. If I didn't take that class for typing, boom.
So it's like this, right? So Dan, how did you go from a kid graduating high school to where you're at right now? The answer, very carefully.
Carefully.
I mean, in all seriousness, from one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another. Right?
That's correct.
It's like that, and that's essentially what you're saying is you take a little bit from this, a little bit from that, and you start putting it together and you start figuring out.
I'm not saying get rid of college. I think the point is though, you can have options, right? If you're self-motivated, you're like, oh, I need to know this, and this to go do it. If you say I need a little more guidance, then you figure it out, go to college. The initial point though, when we're talking about the cost of living, is the fact that I don't think you need to fork over. Look, everything is now streamlined, right?
Yep.
UNLV is teaching the same stuff that Davis is teaching. All right, it's true. They're using the same textbooks. All right, so you can pick up the same knowledge at lots of different options. Yep. Whereas before, when you're in 1600, you have the buggy, right? You don't know what Harvard's doing in England or whatever.
And people are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt over something they don't need to be.
Well, no, I agree with that part of it.
You want to talk about cost of living?
Yeah.
Take that off your bill from the get-go.
I agree about that because here's when you look at it, it's like, okay, am I overpaying for something that I don't necessarily know that I know what I'm going to do for my life? Yeah. So maybe you go through like a community college, or you go to like a trade or some type of where you can develop a skill or craft, and you don't have to spend thousands. Some people have like $80,000 in loan.
Dude, I went to a private liberal arts college in the Midwest, and I graduated with a philosophy degree.
Yeah,
a big bill for what? To get deep?
I can definitely see how you can be philosophical.
Oh, I use it every day in the big picture with people. Trust me.
Should we have a spinoff philosophy hour? Or?
Well, it's funny. So I graduated college, and it turns out being deep doesn't pay the bills. But regardless,
how philosophical are you?
Oh, I'm deep, man. Like what's it all about, man? You don't want to get a little something in me and then start talking to you, and I'll be like.
All right, Zach, what's going on over here, man?
You know what? I was just curious because I had this discussion with one of my buddies, or I forgot, it was a while back, but it was specifically about UNLV's mission statement, right? I was kind of looking it up. I didn't really get to read much of it, but long story short, like we kind of came to the agreement that, if you really look into it, like the mission statement of a university isn't to land you a job or get you into,
what is the mission statement?
Here, let me look it up.
See, I look at it as like this.
To
like,
enrich your mind.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no,
look,
seriously.
if you don't
I'd rather
know,
enrich my wallet. But
right? Look at some people jump out of high school and they jump right into a position of making money, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if you don't know what if you don't know what your passion is, right? What if you don't know, like, hey, you know what? This is exactly what I want to do.
I think it's a good opportunity to help you find what you're passionate about. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I went to college, and I think, being in that environment kind of helped me figure out what I wanted to do, right? I studied computer science. Whole lot of math. I know I didn't want to do that.
So listen, did you feel like you wanted to become a real estate agent when you were in college? Were you thinking, you know what? That's exactly what I want to do?
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, I got my real estate license right out of high school. So first semester of college, like it was already a thought in my head before I even started college. But I think it kind of solidified the fact that going through college, I was like, you know what? I think I actually want to take real estate seriously, because at first it was just a side, something on the side.
Right.
Like
Vegas side hustle.
I had scholarships.
Yo, this is my side roll.
I had scholarships, so I didn't have to, thank God, pay out of pocket for tuition. So anytime I would close a deal, I would coast. I'd take 2, 3, 4 months off, and I didn't have any bills. I was still living at home.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's free money when you're that age.
Right.
And then kind of going back to what I was saying about the whole mission statement, it's like, if you really look at it, it's like these universities are making you take all these credits to take these classes. Like I had to take the history of African dance. Like, what does that have to do with computer science, right?
Well, we're talking. I mean, look, if you don't have anything,
Well, at least you're well-rounded of African dance.
No, it's a really cool class, but I mean, I can see the reasoning behind that. It's to kind of expose people to these new types of things, you know what I mean? And then if you go in and you don't know what you want to do, I think, a big part of taking all these extra classes, maybe you get exposed to something and you realize, oh, I kind of want to do this.
Exactly.
And then it'll help give you that direction.
Yeah.
And, from there, kind of light a fire, I guess, and then figure out what you want to do.
I think, too, you look at it and cost of going to school is high. So maybe you want to search on, like we were talking about, going and paying for like some type of skill or craft type school, like a IT or something like that, where if it's something that you have a passion about, or you don't really know, but you want to go and you can justify the income, because right away you're not going to spend as much as you'd go like on a 4-year college.
Keep in mind too that I think things at the company levels are going to change as well. For give you a case in point, I read last week, or I saw on CNBC of a young lady that she was working as like an investment or one of the investment bankers at like JP Morgan Chase or something like that. So this is something that's a job that's only been reserved for like college, even though it's just, they want to see, in order to get in the door, you got to have a college degree, whatever it is. They're offering an internship where basically they don't care if you have a college degree. In fact, it's for people who don't have college degrees. So they're opening up opportunities, realizing that a lot of this can be learned online, and that, a job like that, honestly, when you're working, it's a people skill job.
Right.
I mean, you need to know investment banking, but you need to know how to handle people.
Right.
So a lot of that's learning on the spot. And so now you're starting to see companies that were before elitist spots where you had to go to a certain, not only college, but like an Ivy League school to even get to work your way up the door. Because we all know that if you want something bad enough, and you're willing to work up and show. I mean, listen, how many jobs, like that's the thing about being an adult, they don't tell you, right? They don't tell you that if you just like show up every day, you're going to win by default.
Right.
Because so many people in life don't want to work and want to be lazy and want to take the easy way out, that all you have to do is just not throw an interception and you'll win. Like, they should have told you that when you were a kid. Like, dude, there's no genius you need to be necessarily, or.
Yeah, and I think the cost of school, look, education's a tool, right? Tool to make your craft.
Yeah.
So, or if you don't know what you want to do, like Dan's point is, you need to be guided. That's fine. Just know what you're paying for, right? That's what you should do with any type of investment. So I think that's kind of the key there.
That's the key there. Yeah. I mean, you look at it and you say, okay, well, let's talk about other factors. So you said the cost of living for student loans and getting into college is going up. So that's something to consider. What about if you're a 2-income family? And let's say you want to buy a house here in Las Vegas. Let's say it's, the average starting price point right now is $382. Mortgage on that, the mortgage on
crazy,
that,
dude.
The mortgage on that is, it's $382. The mortgage on that is probably going to run you about $2,500 a month, maybe closer to $3,000.
With how much down?
Well, I mean that's just the 5% down, right? Let's just say 5%.
Yeah.
But the point is
$2,500.
25 to 3,000, right?
For basically a $400,000 house.
So let's say you're a 2-income family, and let's say you have car insurance, health insurance, you got maybe car payments. Maybe you do have student loans. Maybe you got some other things. Maybe you got credit cards. If you're married and that's how you are qualified together, that's a significant drop if there's a divorce. So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, a lot of people aren't getting divorces, but they still have a 2-household income. Can somebody survive off of a 1-household income in this type of era that we're in right now? I mean, because it's tough, right?
Yeah, it would be severely tough. I mean, the answer is for only so long.
Yeah. What's the median? What's the median income here? It's like 70, 50, 60.
Actually, I think it's probably
55,
closer to
60?
55, 60.
Yeah, 55, 60.
Yeah.
So what is?
I mean,
a mortgage payment $2,500. That's
Dude,
like
so what the cost of living is?
of your income.
You say $4,500 a month?
Yeah.
So 4,500 times 12 is what? 50.
Right.
So 56,000.
Mortgage payment of $2,500. That's cutting 60s, 70% of your income.
So think about it.
Which is absurd.
You're bringing in together 70 grand, and how much is taken out of taxes already?
Right.
Right. So you're spending 4,500 a month in expenses. You're making a total of 70 grand a year, but take off taxes, and now what do you have left out of 4,500 a month?
Yeah.
Probably not that much. What?
Yeah.
Well, $500. I don't even know. But
And Dan's point with the medical, last year, right? I upped the medical, the best option we possibly could get because my wife's pregnant or whatever. So I didn't want to.
Or whatever.
Then I took a little nice vacation.
or whatever. Just she said pregnant. I was like, how'd that happen?
I mean, I guess.
Well, I'll get into that in a second because I took a vacation in September to Centennial Hills Hospital because I had a little bit of infection going on. So I was admitted for 5 days, right?
Dang.
Yeah. Then when I came out that day, she told me she was pregnant. So I'm curious, like.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
You just see the medical dollars.
Yeah, what's going on there? What's going on there?
Did she say?
I didn't want to look at it.
No, but then 2 months later, they send me a bill, right? And they're like, "Oh, you owe. The hospital was 80,000. You owe like 7,000, right?"
Your insurance? Did your insurance help with you? I mean,
Well, no. I'm like, that's what I said. I'm like, I had insurance. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I don't call your insurance. Call the insurance. Like, oh yeah, no. Like, I'm like, I upped it. I paid the copay of 500.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, we're gonna cover 80% of the contract. All right, and I'm like. This is the best option I could get.
Dude, that's insurance companies.
Yeah, and then he tells me, he says...
Finding every reason not to pay
He
you.
literally says, what are you upset about? We covered 80% of it.
What are you upset about?
I'm like, dude, this isn't a charity. I'm trying to make a transaction right now. So
Let me give you this money every month for me. I still have to pay my bill.
Yeah, and then with my wife, she's... Every time she goes in, like $100 there,
Dude,
$100 there.
I
I'm
bet.
like, what is going on? Can't we get insurance that covers this? People get boring, right? You're acting like this is a new invention or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
No, I mean, I agree. And Zach, what do you think, man? You think that the cost of insurance? Let's talk about car insurance for a second, okay?
Oh man,
Vegas
Don't even get
here
me
seems
started.
like it has. Vegas is really bad with insurance. Now the thought is, this is their excuse. You're a 24/7 town, and you have more accidents than anybody.
Here's my excuse. There's shitty drivers here.
Well, there's a lot of drivers that don't know how to drive with each other. They come from different places.
They're horrible. Whatever the reason.
How
They
come
suck.
when it rains, they stomp on the accelerator? You notice this every single time.
Dude, I know.
Right?
Dude, you're getting to a deeper philosophy I have about their mentality. But
I got
we'll leave
another.
that be.
I got something to say on that though, because it's kind of a funny story. So I'm driving down the 215, and I'm in the right lane, the far right lane, and I'm just driving. And as I'm coming across the turn, I see a car, and they're just driving, and they're driving in the shoulder lane, where if you would pull over, and they were driving like that probably for a good mile. You know what I mean? Where they're just driving, and they didn't even know the fact that they were driving in that lane. They were just, and all of a sudden the blinker comes on left, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
I'm
so
like, I don't.
we'll fix this right now. Everybody listening right now, when you get off of a freeway, You don't line up 5 miles before. You merge at the last second. Don't get offended when somebody does that.
Do you have?
I do. I'm like, no. We all wait our turn, mother effer.
Do you have bad drivers that you see here? I mean, look, everybody's got their own opinion.
We don't get affected.
Yeah, right.
I take it you've done that move a few times.
Maybe.
You're like my buddy Shane in Philly. He's like, oh, it's Mentum. I'm like, dude, you're an asshole. Sorry.
What about you, Zach? What do you think, man? You got a lot of drivers out there that are kind of terrible out there driving on the road.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many different types of bad drivers.
Yeah.
There's good drivers.
That's true.
I mean, it's like you get the, person like, inches from their steering wheel, like driving 5 under the speed limit. And then you get, the idiot, that runs a red light or just, cuts you off or something like that. I mean, lately I've been seeing a lot of it, but
well, dude,
I'm kind of just used to it now.
When you're driving traffic, you can tell. Like, you see them in the rear, like, you're like, oh, here comes this son of a. Like, and you know what's gonna happen.
I don't.
You're in thick ass traffic. He's gonna do that until he goes one car in front of you and he hits a wall because he can't go any further. And then I just pull up next to him. I'm like.
People don't have a lot of patience.
All that in and out, and we're at the stoplight at the same time.
Oh yeah, people don't have a lot of patience.
Or like they take off, and I pull up the stoplight. I'm like, man, the ability that you have to push your foot in downward motion, unbelievable talent.
Absolutely, dude.
Oh no, yeah, like what you said. Like I'll see somebody cut me off, and then like weaving through traffic and stuff, and then I pull up next to them.
End result.
I pull up next to them at the same light. I'm like, hey, buddy.
Yeah. Like I look at them, just like. I go like this. I'm like, all that weaving in and out, we're at the stoplight at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Smart.
So to answer your question, yes, I do see a lot of bad drivers.
Right. I mean, I was just waiting for that. So yes.
Sorry. I'm gonna, long answer short. Yes.
Yes. You know what? But insurance, I think, is a real high cost, right? So like Chris Rock used to say, I hate it. Insurance is only there in case shit happens, right? If something happens. But if you could do away with insurance. Dude, I would love to do away with insurance.
Dude, I think it's a legal scam.
How much is your guys' car insurance every month?
Mine, I'll tell you right now. So I got 3 cars.
Okay.
And they're somewhat new, but it's upwards of right around $500 a month.
What?
$450 to $500.
Okay.
I've got 2.
Total?
It's $150.
Total?
Yeah, total.
Why is it so high?
Well, I got 2 new cars, and then I got a truck. I got a
they
truck.
jack you every time you buy a new car. Which I think is...
Okay, so I'm 23 years old. First time I enrolled in my policy, I bought my first new car. It was, I think like 2019, January 2019.
What'd you buy?
It was a little Chevy Cruze.
Yeah.
Dude, is it
pimping?
Hey, oh yeah, Terry Crews. That's what I call him.
Does it got a sunroof?
Terry Crews, that's what I call him.
Yeah, dude. Tinted out the windows. Got some subs in that thing. No, I'm kidding.
Subs.
Got some subs. Okay. Your clients love that show $1 Million Homes. Roll those woofers.
No, it's a nice car. I'm due for an upgrade soon, but what is it? Oh yeah, so I mean it's nothing flashy. I'm not driving a freaking $50,000 car, but my insurance, I was paying every month $405.
Wow.
Oh, just because you're 23?
Yeah.
Dude.
So I paid that.
What year is your car again?
Think about
It's a 2017. Yeah, so I bought it used. It was a couple of years old.
That's crazy,
dude.
So
my first car.
Wait for it.
All right, go.
So
wow.
I switched to Progressive and added my girlfriend onto my policy, and together, she just got a new car last year. It's a 2020 Chevy.
Don't they really hit you for those new cars?
Oh man!
And I don't even have a brand new car. It's just a newer car.
Not to mention what you pay in registration fees here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a new car. Well,
So,
go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. And then, so we were paying monthly together. She has a 2020 Chevy Trax. It's like an SUV.
Yeah.
$680 for our 2 cars. And
what's the car payment? Did you pay with cash?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Our insurance is more than our car payment.
It's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, we're both, I'm 23.
Dude,
she's
almost
22.
$700 a month in car insurance.
But the good news is, I spoke with somebody and then they really saved my ass. Like they dropped my premium. Now we're paying $330. No, I'm sorry, $350 for both of us, which for me is cheap, right?
Have you been a lot of accidents?
Oh no, not at all.
Nothing, no record.
I haven't been in any accidents.
Speeding tickets?
I've had 1 speeding ticket.
How fast were you going?
Man, I was
allegedly. Don't worry.
Allegedly.
We'll take care of that.
Allegedly.
Next time, call me. We'll make sure that.
Next time, call me.
I'll keep this information private. No,
Quick retainer up front.
no.
So think
I know how
about
it
it.
works.
So think about this. You said $700 in insurance.
Yeah.
Let's say you throw a car payment on there. Let's say it's $500. That's $1,200.
Dude, think about
just
it. Yeah.
to drive a car.
Dude, just
One car, right?
to drive a car that's not going to break down.
It's crazy. So you look at it, right? So you got $1,200 for just the car, let's just say. You pay an additional, what, $1,500 in rent, right? Correct? And then so let's just say an example.
That's almost
Right,
$3,000 right there.
That's $3,000 right there. So if the average person out there is making...
Then you got utilities.
Yeah. What other money do you have left over? And I think that's the concern. The concern is like electric. Electric has gone up, really crazy, right? I think it's gone up a lot, even though... Like you look at the pandemic and everything, people were staying home. But when it gets into like the hot summer time here, the hot months, tell me those bills don't go crazy, man. They're like $300, $400, $500.
Not at new homes.
Just any home. I've been in
New homes
no,
like $120, dude.
No, I've
New
been
since
in,
when?
Yeah,
What
it is.
year? What you were saying?
Like new.
Like what?
Like within the last couple years.
2016? Does that qualify as new?
2000. Yeah, close enough. 2016.
My house was built then. I did notice a steep decrease in the summer, and I didn't know why. But then you tell me new homes.
Because they're all built with modern code, insulation and windows that take the sunlight and reflect it back out. And just
What if you
different
have
things. You can take that. I showed a brand new home last night, 3,100 square feet, and the cooling bill was on average like $115, $120.
Oh, wow.
And this is a 2-story, 3,100 square feet. You took that same house that's
this-
20 years old, and that $120 bill, it'll be like $400.
Yeah, so like let's say you have a house that has 2 AC units. And
Even better,
Well,
because it's zoned heating and cooling.
Right, and let's say that you have it as brand new AC unit. Wouldn't it be the same as if it was a new home? I mean, it doesn't have to be a new home. What if it's about the AC
well,
unit,
you
right?
gotta no. It's also about what kind of insulation.
Right.
So, and then now what they do, a lot of builders do, is underneath the roof line in the attic, they'll put like it looks like almost like aluminum foil. But what it does is it basically, as the heat comes in underneath the shingles before it starts getting into your attic and trapping into your attic, and that's what traps the heat in there, which makes your house then hotter.
Yeah.
Because it's pushing down on it, it reflects it back out. Same thing with windows. So if you're going to come through and you're going to like redo your insulation in your house and redo all of your windows
Yeah.
and your ACs, then yeah, you'd be saving considerably, but you're spending $30,000 to save $200 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
going to
crazy.
take, you got to live in that house for a while though.
So Zach, let's finish your story. You said $700 for insurance, right? Is that for the insurance that you were saying about it?
Yeah, so $680 for my girlfriend and I together.
Okay.
Thank God we're not paying that anymore. Like that dropped down. Like I said, right now we're like at about $350, which is I'm used to paying that, so I don't know how it compares to what you guys are used to. But I mean, that alone, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. So yeah, that's what I'm paying right now. It's finally for once below the amount that I'm paying for my car.
And that's because your age, right?
Yeah, I assume it's because my age.
You know what though?
A number of
so
things.
I hear your generation always complain about on Twitter and stuff like, your generation, my generation's put you guys in debt, and we have these wars, and how are you guys supposed to even stand a chance in life because we put you in the grave so much to begin with, blah blah. But the more that I hear the realities of like what you guys are paying for your bills and stuff.
Man.
You may be onto something.
No, dude, I think it's crazy.
Dude, we never faced that kind of.
Well, what do you got? I mean, is that just what do you have?
That's crazy, man.
Is that just
You're kind of legit on that.
No, I had full coverage. I mean,
full coverage.
Yeah,
Okay.
because to buy my car, I mean, the bank that's financing the loan, they're like, yeah, you need full coverage, whatever.
Gotcha.
So I've just had full coverage, and it's
Well, I don't get my wife and I'm full coverage on 2 cars. It's $150 for both drivers.
Oh wow.
And I
pretty
had
good.
12 allegations back in my day of speeding issues.
Right, and I mean,
Allegations.
yeah, I am sure it's 100% just
Officer,
because of
did I
my
mention
age.
I'm an attorney? They must love hearing that.
Oh, that'll get you in the cell faster.
You're
than
doing
I think
15
anything
over.
else
I
you
meant
could
you were doing
say.
25 over.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'll get you.
So you look at the insurance, the car insurance. You look at maybe one income is taken away. You look at the overall cost that it. You look at let's say the water bill. Water's not too high, but let's talk about the water situation. So let me say this: we are declining drastically at Lake Mead. I go out to Lake Mead, it's disgusting, right?
It's crazy,
terrible,
dude.
right?
Even since 12 years I've been here.
I can't even believe how far down we've gone. Now we're giving California water, I think Arizona water, but do you think that water, because it's becoming so scarce and there's a lot of people now living here, that cost is going to go up too? So your water bill is now going to just shoot through the roof.
So that's part of the reconfiguration that I'm talking about. So a lot of our water is going to California. Guess who's moving here? California. They're going to want that water over here now.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but what if there's no water here? So what
do you mean? Well, we can route it anywhere we want.
Yeah, but listen, we need to have that replenished or find another source, and they're worried about not having enough water because it's going down so fast. So let's say that now we don't have another resource for this. Lake Mead was. I tell you, man, it was nice. It was deep. You go there now. I have parents and I got uncles and stuff that have boats.
Yeah.
All you see like this big top. And like right halfway down, you see where it's
covering.
It's the back covering. It's the white part, and you can tell that it's dropped.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, it's dropped crazy numbers.
How tall is that? Do you know?
I don't.
I just saw an article the other day, and it wasn't even really an article. It's just a photo of Lake Mead in the 1980s, and then Lake Mead now. Just the difference.
There's land you can camp
crazy.
on now that was underwater.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And another thing that I read, it's funny, me and Joey were talking about this the other day or a few weeks ago. Apparently they're saying that, if Lake Mead were to ever get to a point where it's pretty much dried out, like they've got pockets of water underground that they...
Yeah, see, I'm not worried.
Right. I don't know.
How did we get all this water here in the first place? Mother of innovation, right? Necessity is the mother of all innovation. We found a way. We came up, built a dam. We captured the Colorado River. We migrated. I mean, we did. We migrated off the systems and controlled the water flow where we wanted. All that stuff. And we're talking almost 100 years ago, dude.
And born and raised in Nevada. I was up in northern Nevada, but I've been hearing about water my entire life, right?
I bet, man.
And then there's a big fight, right, between North and South.
Yeah.
They hate each other, and they're like, Vegas, you can't have any water. No, this is our water. You can't touch it or whatever. And you're gonna fail, and it's gonna suck, and you're all gonna die and dry up.
We're gonna walk around with dry skin.
Here's the deal, though.
Southerners.
Look, this is a major city.
Funny,
so is Phoenix. So is LA. Obviously, our society is not going to let these cities fail. Now, it may present obstacles that's going to drive prices up, but we'll figure out a way.
I agree.
So
100%.
So you don't think that these water prices could continue to go up, where they use that as an excuse? And is it going to be something of concern? Because you got to look at it, man. It's like
yes, water prices will go up.
Yeah, and so are we going to be able to afford all these different things that's happening where...
My water bill is $30 a month. I can afford $60 a month.
Well, what do you think, Zach?
That's me personally.
I don't know about water prices, but I know... how about, do you think it's going to get to a point where they're going to limit the amount of water you can use?
That's the thing. And so if you want to use it, then there's going to be a premium.
They already are, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to those... Ryan Reeves commercials, right?
You get fined. Yeah, you get fined.
Only water once a day.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a concern.
I don't want Ryan Reeves showing up, body checking me.
I met him in the gym once. We both had our, little bite too details, we both had our shirts off, right, at Lifetime. Yeah. And that was Ryan.
What Lifetime you go to?
I used to go to the one up in Summerlin.
That's where I go to.
Yeah.
I was there this morning.
He's kind of not as big with the shirt off as I thought he'd be.
Dude, hockey players, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's big for a hockey player. That's why he looks big.
Yeah, but he's the enforcer, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him knock some
But that's what
people
I'm saying.
out.
Like a big hockey player is not like a big NFL player. There's considerable
Do you guys know how to skate?
No,
It's
I'm from
hard.
Wisconsin.
It's super hard.
Absolutely not.
It's super hard. Yeah, that's the thing. If you can have power on skates, or like they're like, oh, when they start fighting, like, do you try doing that on skates, dude?
Oh, man.
It ain't the same as standing in a bar. You
Break
know?
my ankle.
So obviously we don't have any water here. So as the Northerners, I'm so sorry, I can't even talk. Northerners say, but I went ice skating at the Cosmopolitan one time and busted my ass and haven't been back
Dude,
since.
it's super hard, man.
So I can't imagine playing a whole sport.
Well, if you grow up on skates, it's nothing. But
Yeah.
I'm a huge skier. I didn't have skated.
Are you? Okay.
And I thought, oh, this be no big deal. Turns out I can't turn left or right.
No, man, skiing's
straight,
hard.
can't slow down.
I did skiing
you had some
before.
real
and you-
skiing up there, dude. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
skiing's tough. I also did snowboarding, and you know what?
Did you?
There's a people think that snowboarding's easy too. Like you just got to know how to ride a skateboard. It's not as easy as you think. I mean, there's a lot of balancing and core that comes into
Well,
it.
I grew up on skis, but never been on a snowboard until
Yeah.
I was about 21, 22, something like that. We skiing a big day. My buddy's like, "Hey, let's switch." But he had skied before in his life, so I put on the board. Like, I got this, no big deal. I was literally crying by the time I got to the bottom.
Really?
I tore up. I was close.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
close,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it was like
It was a rough time getting
yeah,
down.
yeah. My tailbone was just shattered.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ryan
balancing
Reeves is at the
coordination can
bottom.
only go so far when it's a
Yes.
new object.
That's true.
You know, you gotta.
Ryan Reeves was at the bottom waiting for you. He's like, get up, man.
Right?
Ryan Reeves is waiting. Smile, missing the tooth. Hi, darling. Dudes make like $3 million a year. They got missing teeth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So, what do you guys think? I'm gonna talk with you, Zach. So, you think that we're talking about the cost of living? Kind of go back to that. Do you think that right now we're okay? But are you okay with what you have to pay, and are you going to be able to adjust? Like, do you think that we're really heading towards where it's mandated to have a 2 household income, unless you make a good living? You're an attorney or somebody that makes probably good money. So, what do you think? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Because we all know that the cost of living is going up here, but I think people like from California and a lot of people that we talk to that are that do business with us out of state, they might not feel those effects because the cost of gas is a lot higher in places like California and New York.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, you think this is going to be something we're going to be having a high concern about?
You know what? Coming from experience, I haven't had a lot of like firsthand experience, seeing the cost of living go up because obviously I'm 23 years old. I moved out like not too long ago.
Right.
And then even me living right now, I'm living with my girlfriend and we have a roommate. So it's like collectively we're all paying.
Wow, you're living in sin, man.
I mean,
I just can't.
Separate bedrooms, right?
Separate.
it's a studio. We have a
Separate bedrooms, mom.
we have a triple bunk bed. We all I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
The new age of roommates.
I'm joking. No, but we live over at Cactus Life. Sponsored. No, I'm just kidding.
What the hell's that?
What is a cactus life?
It's really cool. Like,
Is that Chuckus Life?
so it's like a really nice apartment building, kind of. I guess you can say like loft style.
Oh, wow.
Ish. Like,
I'm glad we get to sit here and talk to you.
So is that something where you were like, hey, you know what? You're like, hey, I want to live in an apartment because you're just getting started.
Bro,
that's what
he
it is.
doesn't live in an apartment. He lives in the Cactus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's your apartment
Yeah,
complex.
it's the
Cactus.
it's the cactus
gotcha.
life, and I didn't know
The
what
Cactus
that
Life, bro.
no, it's a really
We're just
really
chilling
cool
West
place.
Coast Cactus Life. Hashtag Cactus Life with a K.
I'm gonna step out and go
I'm
to
sorry,
my
Dad.
Cactus Life. I'm just kidding. So hold on, I completely got sidetracked.
Sorry,
meant.
dude.
Just look. You look at the cost of
Oh,
living.
cost
right?
of living.
Yeah, and
Oh.
you went to an apartment. Obviously, you're just getting started, but could you even see yourself buying a home at this point? Because the homes are so high, and your cost of living is obviously going up. I think everybody's cost of living is going up.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just me.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can get $100 or $200 insurance,
But your
or-
rent,
or
what you're
electric-
paying, you're paying record rent now too.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So-
are you able to, to kind of take on that new, price of getting your increase in your maybe your rent? Is it a problem, or is it something that you're looking at going, you know what? I don't know. I mean, like, what are your thoughts? Is it really an issue?
My opinion, I mean, I feel like a lot of people or other people might think differently, but my opinion, it's like, this apartment, our rent is like $2,300, right? So, but split between us three, it's not a lot.
$2,300?
Yeah.
That's
how many
a lot, man.
bedrooms?
What, a
That's
two
like
bedroom?
22.
Is it 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom.
Oh my!
2,300.
Where is it?
Hey, it's the cactus life, man.
Hey, you'll never
Damn,
guess.
I need to get me some cactus life because that's what I like.
Yeah.
You'll never guess where it is. Cactus. Cactus in the 15. No.
But it's not on the strip or downtown.
No. It's off. Yeah, Cactus in the 15. It's really
Anybody
cool.
over 25 is a grandpa there, so you're not
So
allowed.
it's $2,300 for a 2-bedroom, and you're not talking like nightlife access or whatever.
Well, no. I mean, think of like Panorama, right? Like
So
kind
it's
of
like a
high-rise
light-
type,
yeah.
deal. But it's not a high-rise. It's 4 stories.
Like, you
I'm
have
on the
your
top
like
floor.
little gym in there
Oh yeah, it's
with
super cool
pools
gym.
and their own pool. Yeah.
It's
All right,
awesome.
so it's legit.
Yeah, I'll show you guys
You got
after
elevators?
this, but it's really cool. Yeah, elevators.
Cactus.
There's like a huge clubhouse. Like you can reserve it. Like there's all this cool stuff. I love it there. But cost of living. I mean, here's the thing. This is my first place that I've actually paid for moving out. And I'm kind of preparing myself to hey, when I'm gonna buy a house or when I'm renting, it's like I can see the rents going up. Like my mom's house, like she's paying rent $1,600 a month, and I can already see the difference there. And when I move out of here and I'm not living with a roommate, it's just my girlfriend and I'm kind of expecting that rents are gonna be around that same price point anyway. So I'm not exactly nervous because I know what I'm getting myself into. I'm still in that transition from completely like I'm on my own. So, and I know what I'm going to have to pay for. So I'm not exactly nervous about that.
So I got one thing to say. So if you're paying $2,300 a month, you can buy a home. Is it is it a preference that you don't want to buy a home and put your money into that? Because it seems like a lot of younger generations, they're not eager to get into a house. If you're spending $2,300, if you're spending $2,300, I mean, that's more than my mortgage.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Well,
that.
more than mine.
again, it's split between the three of us. So I'm paying myself. I'm paying just under $800. So,
but you have your girl with you though too, right?
Right.
And she's paying another third of that.
yeah, we split it in the thirds.
So think about it. That's even $1,600. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do this. It's all you. But what if you just said, "Hey, I'm going to buy a starter home," and you go in? I mean, it's hard right now, but maybe you
won't get to cactus life with that, though. I mean, dude, it's about the cactus life.
Hey, I'm going to tell you the
Dude, think about it. They're 23, man. They're not like us.
Well,
you know what we do on a Saturday night? It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh, it's ready for bed.
No, what
dude,
you doing on a
they're
Saturday?
23. They want to like be around like society and what's happening, dude.
Yeah.
Like that totally encompasses that.
But
you know?
this is
You're
good
not
'cause-
wrong.
Like me, I see that. I'm like, dude, that's too exhausting. I
But
wanna
then again,
hang at home. That's a lot better.
you got to see like what point of our lives that we're in. It's like
Yeah,
a lot of my
exactly.
friends are just this is their first home away from home.
Right.
So I mean, just getting out of college, haven't landed like a good job yet, and they can't afford to just go and then
I
pay
get it.
They're learning about life, dude,
Right,
and,
yeah.
what they're going to encounter.
I mean, although
I
I'm
get
living
it.
with a roommate and my girlfriend, it's like it's just such a big change, from living at home.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a while, but it's like,
Oh, just living with a girl for the first time is a big change. Trust me.
yeah, no,
By the
100%.
way, I just learned. So you know how they don't like it when you keep the toilet seat up.
Yeah.
I always thought,
Because they're going to fall in or something.
I always thought they wanted the cover, which is nice added bonus. But
Right.
really, it's because they fall in.
Yeah.
Which they made that joke a lot, and then it finally occurred to
Fall
me.
in.
So there was a lot that slipped me.
Oh yeah,
So there's a lot you got to learn.
It's a big learning experience.
Now you're
and-
23, right?
Yeah, 23.
So what year were you born?
97.
97.
Jesus, dude.
Hey, my birthday's next Thursday.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
I'm 45.
45. You so you. We got all the Gen. What's your Gen Z?
Yeah, we talked about this
Where's
last
the
week.
cutoff? Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it
don't
was
need to
no.
bring up
He
that.
wasn't here.
No. I'm
You're
just
talk to an
saying.
attorney that way?
I was
Boy,
just saying
no.
that
your honor
it's
from
funny you
here on
brought
out,
that
so.
up because we talked about it last. No, so this whole time I thought it was millennial because I always get freaking called like when I first got my real
Because
estate
people my
license.
age don't know anything younger
Right.
than millennials. Anybody younger than us, they're all millennials,
Right.
even though it's a different generation.
So-
So
You're a millennial, right?
Don't take it personal. Yeah, exactly. To us,
I'm a baby boomer. What are you talking
you're like,
about?
millennials are like boomers, you know?
So yeah, because I mean, I was a little 19-year-old kid in the office, right, when I first got my license, and everybody was like, I remember this guy. His name was Jared. He used to always tell me, he's like, "Oh, you millennials, da 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 da," and he's like, "I'm barely at the cutoff." So this entire time, I was thinking, "Oh, millennial." And then I did some research and I'm like, no, wait, hold on. The cutoff is what, like 98 or something? Or I'm sorry, 96?
Yeah.
So
what do you mean you got your license at 19? Your driver's license?
No, it's a real estate license.
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's what Gen Z's been doing. They haven't been getting on the road. Maybe because it's car insurance. Uber. I didn't realize that.
Uber. Hey, my 24th birthday is next Thursday. I'm getting my driver's permit. Get my driving permit next week. I forgot what.
That's why your insurance is so high, because you don't have a license.
That's exactly right. Hey, but it does make sense because the younger
you're driving a car without a license.
No insurance, man.
Unregistered.
Unregistered. Your insurance is high because you got no license. Unregistered. Does your girl drive your car? Do you guys like you're on the same thing together, like where you both can drive each other's car?
Yeah. So I mean, we're on the same policy, so it's like both our cars are insured, but
Do they
we're
also
both
be married?
Do you share bank accounts now too, or not yet?
No,
not yet.
No.
Oh, I thought that was
That's
right around the corner.
Just give her time. Just give her time.
Who makes more? No, you gotta
Right.
take that in consideration.
Just give him time.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping my stuff separate.
Hey,
You're 23, dude.
it's the cactus life.
Did it all for the cactus life.
Yeah, I'm doing it all for the cactus
Dude,
life.
All for the
they got
cactus
such
life.
plug today, dude. It's such a big plug for them
Yeah.
today.
Oh man, I'm gonna
Cactus
go.
life or die, bro.
I'm gonna go to the front office at the
And say, "Listen."
clubhouse and like, look, you guys.
No! Take this clip and sell it to him as NFT.
See, I was going to tell you, this is what...
Right?
Here, you see this?
Here, you guys can use this for your commercial, but you got to pay me for the rights as an NFT.
I'm a brand ambassador now.
There you go.
Okay.
I want to be paying Litecoin.
This is what Brett does. You guys are ready to go out or you're trying to just hang out or whatever. Brett's like looking at cryptocurrency till what, about 10 o'clock? Is that what you do? Like Coinbase? Are you online like till about what, 10 or 11?
Yeah.
You're just basically monitoring. That's what happens when you're 45. And everything
At
turns to
midnight,
this.
let me just check my investment account before I go to sleep. Ooh, I made another $20. That's what you do when you get older, dude. That's your excitement. Oh, I made $100. Party! I'm going to the cactus life now.
You're worthy now.
Oh, man, this is great.
Portfolio's looking all green, man. You're good.
It's
Come
looking
on
all
by.
cactus on me.
Stop. That's great, man. So let's talk. I want to go back to this. So, when we're looking at costs, right? So you're in a different stage of life.
Right.
We can't really say, well, is it really affecting you? Because you're kind of just getting started. Mm-hmm. Brett, what about you, man? You think it's affecting you? I mean, you make a good living, though, as a realtor. So I'm not saying that, you're not going to be able to pay your bills, but are you seeing things go up where it's concerning? The thing is this.
I'm seeing things go up, but it's not concerning to me.
Well,
because I understand why they are.
Yeah, but inflation's going up, right? Cost, like I go into the store
because things are extremely down. That's like saying, well, are you concerned that interest rates are going up? They're at historic lows, dude.
Yeah, but listen, so I go into the store and the same food that I buy is going up.
But I know why.
Why?
Because of COVID happening and people not working and supplies and manufacturers and all those things having to slow down.
Right.
So now you have a demand that's twice what it was, and then the production's half of what it was. It's simple.
That's the concern. The concern is,
why is that a concern?
Because is post COVID is because of the scarcity.
You mean it's working its course to get back to normal? Why is that concerning?
Well, is it going to get back to normal?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
You do.
So no doubt in my mind.
I think this is exactly why number one reason why we're seeing the spike in housing. Right. You have this weird thing that happened 14 months ago. Investors, long-term investors, housing construction guys, were like, hold off, right? And in the meantime, gets on kickstart because all demand back to Vegas, all the industry back to Vegas, and then
that's exactly right. They all were expecting slower stuff, so they took the proper course in their businesses to reduce what they needed to, and the market did the opposite.
What's your monthly what's your monthly budget? Would you say that you got to clear every month?
I mean, I live fairly simple, probably around
just your
$5
bills.
grand.
Just your bills.
Probably about $5 grand.
$5 grand.
Probably five. Yeah, probably $5 grand.
You live simple. And you
Give or
take. That's simple. $5 grand is simple.
You just said that the average is $4,500 per household.
Yeah.
Do you think these people are living lavishly? That's $500 more.
Yeah, but you're just talking about your bills, right? I'm talking about your bills, just your bills, like your rent or your mortgage or your car payment and whatever.
But that's what that $4,500 that you're referring to before for household incomes, right?
Yeah, but now let's talk about this. You need an additional what would you say? Minimum $2,000 for gas, for food, for any extra things.
I need an extra $2,000 a month on top of that for price increases. No.
Listen, just to live off of. This is just to live off of, right?
I live off of that. What I'm telling you.
Okay, so
if I pay my bills, I'm living.
Okay, $4,500 is what you typically pay every month.
Yeah, let's say $5 grand. Let's say $4,500 because whatever, give or take a few hundred. Yeah,
okay.
So $5,000 are my bills for a month.
Okay,
roughly.
Do you think because?
But dude, compared to the people we know in our industry, I'm living cheap.
Yeah, but you're
like
also,
I don't go out and buy like any money I make, I stick into crypto. Or investment.
But you also make a good living. So let's say you do. Let's say you're the average person out there that's got a 2 household income making $100,000 a month.
Yeah. Making $100,000 a month?
Well, I'm sorry, a year. Excuse me.
They'll be at the Cactus.
$100 grand a year. Yeah.
That'll be at the Cactus.
That's a good living too, dude.
No, but listen, you're making $100,000 a year, let's say as an average household income.
Okay.
And somebody leaves that household income, right? And now they're literally only working with $5,000 or $6,000 a month. They can't live your lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? Like there's no way. So
if I quit making the money I make every month, I won't be living my lifestyle either.
Right.
So
here's my question. Here's my thought. My thought is this: if you go back 3 to 5 years,
that's why you got to save.
Has your cost
don't go buy stupid stuff? Save.
Has your cost increase jumped a lot in the last 3 to 5 years as far as your overall monthly?
Nope.
No. You don't.
The only thing that's cost me more money that is noticeable to me is a car, because I went from a Ford to an Audi.
But you also don't. You don't have kids or a family, really. I mean,
but I don't have kids.
That's the difference. So
I have a wife, and she's a preschool teacher. Yeah. And
What about you, Joe? What do you think, man? You think that what is your your output every month? Do you think that things have increased a lot for you over the last 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, because I got a wife.
But that's what he's saying is like, so the older that we get in life, do we end up getting more bills? Yeah, it's funny how that is. Like the more money I make, all of a sudden I have these much more bills. But it's not from cost of living; it's from needing more necessity things in your life. Correct?
Yeah, but if you want to go buy a house,
I'm paying rent. I was paying $400 a rent, less than that, $325 in Reno 6 years ago.
Jesus.
So then I buy a house, right? But I mean, I buy the house. I think about it because me and my wife work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I look at more investment, get on 10-year loan with this thing.
Yeah.
Get it knocked out. I would say food is where I've noticed.
Right.
Food's where I've noticed. And
I will
I'm
say
just
that.
being lazy and like not thinking about it as much as I should. But I'm like, I think it was like $1,600.
I will say,
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I will say the cost of food I've noticed
has gone up. Yeah.
Listen.
Well, look,
if you're a family that needs every penny that you take, then yes, absolutely, the cost of food going up is going to absolutely affect you.
Well, gas is
personally me, I notice it, but it doesn't affect me. But I can definitely see where, dude, most of my life I've not had money.
Yeah,
I've been on the other side. So believe me, that's like 95% of my life. It's just within the last couple of years I started.
Dude, I think we all have.
Decent, you know,
we all didn't come into.
Dude, I'm 45.
Yeah,
so I spent 20 years getting my ass kicked.
But so you monitor this stuff, right? I monitor it. So I know that my electric has gone up. You could say it's AC unit, you could say it's a new home, whatever it is. It's gone up. It doesn't matter. I've had the same house, it goes up. It's gone up. The other thing too is that you look at my rent is going up, or my mortgage is going up, or the car payments are going up. So how much do you have left over if you want to buy something like a home? It's not a lot, I wouldn't think,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's the same thing when I look at couples that have kids. I don't know how they'd stay married. How do you both work all day long and then come home?
That's what I'm saying.
And have kids and work some more and not have any alone time? I don't know how they do it. Yeah. I've never had kids, and being married in a relationship is already hard enough. Having kids, dude, I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. Joe, what about you, man? So
I'm the wrong person to ask.
What is your thoughts on it? Like, do you think? I know you said food. do you think that there's something else or other things that you've seen that maybe has been an increase? You know, like I said, 47% of Americans think that, there's going to be a problem potentially, or there's still concerns.
I mean, I think it's food, housing, and medical. I think that's the biggest three. And medical more. I don't think the prices change, but I don't know what's going on in the insurance company. And, you know, obviously that's Biden's issue now, but they just seem to poke a lot more holes. You're putting a lot more co-pays and stuff that you never paid before.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of money, right? You get hit with a $5,000 bill out of nowhere.
Oh man,
it's how do you avoid those types of costs, right?
Yeah,
food you can be a little more diligent about. Hey, quit ordering Uber Eats or whatnot. But Gen Z loves that kind of stuff. I don't know. When's the last time you have you ever picked up the phone and ordered a pizza directly from the pizza shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do all the time. See, here's the thing. I'm not your typical, like...
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really like Postmates or Uber Eats unless I'm, like, dying in bed or something. You know, that's when it's convenient, but I'd rather just go get it myself. I don't see a problem with just hopping in my car and then, driving across the street. But one thing I can say, avocados, man, not cheap. They'll add up.
Oh, yeah.
My girlfriend always... Avocados.
And the problem is in the store, I mean, I'm not good at really
picking them out,
comparing prices, It's like, $1.20. That's always what an avocado is. But I think about, I just don't do that process.
Well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in with us. We got Brett Jenny. He's the philosopher. Brett, the philosopher, Jenny. We also have, go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah, that's you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Brett, the philosopher.
Oh, okay.
Jenny.
Okay. Well, who are you?
That's Zach Cactus Martinez. The Cactus Life Martinez.
He is the Cactus Life and not a millennial.
Zach the Cactus Life Martinez.
Zach the Cactus Life Martinez.
Zach the Cac.
We also got
Brandit.
Joe the Red Dragon attorney over here. Oh, we love it. Joe the Red Dragon. You got the red belt over here.
It's better than the white, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Dan French. Thank you guys. Hope you guys had some fun. Everybody that's tuned in, and we'll finish this episode. Please look at our past episodes. Also, we'll be back here on Tuesday, and I got really good guests coming on Tuesday. We're going to talk more financing and real estate. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll talk to you at the next stream. Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench Podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.